Some analysis now. Retired General Joseph Votel, former commander of CENTCOM. Great to have you on, sir. And thank you for being here today. Here's one line from the Institute of Study of War. Their synopsis today is 4 pages long, but here's one line. Iran does not view the current phase in the conflict as negotiations in pursuit of a deal. It believes it is at war and that war will end with a deal. I don't know how you interpret that, General, but is this time for real?
Well, we'll see. Time will tell. There's been a lot of time that has passed. A lot more pressure put on the regime since the start of the ceasefire. But again, the regime demonstrates a level of resilience here in terms of its ability to drag out negotiations and try to maneuver themselves to get in the very best position they can. But again, I think we have to take the president at his word here, and we'll see what happens in the very near future.
Now, we've been here before, General. I mean, in April, it was the president's warning that a whole civilization will die unless, Iran comes to an agreement. Eventually, they extended the ceasefire for another several weeks. But the threat to go after Iran's bridges and power plants and his talk about Kharg Island seems to be tangibly different. Here's what he said yesterday.
Is the Kharg Island operation off the table, and are you ruling out boots on the ground?
Well, now it would be. If we signed this agreement, it would be. They weren't so thrilled when they heard that that's what I would have done.
So he says Kharg Island's off the table if it's signed, which would imply it's maybe on the table if it's not signed. Is that a practical thing to do? What would be the challenges with that?
Yeah, I think we should keep all options on the table until we actually move forward with this. I think what the president did late yesterday was with this escalation pause I think that was directly tied to this, kind of near final framework agreement. And I think he's giving that an opportunity to move forward to see if we can pursue it that direction. But I think it's really critical throughout all of this that we do not take anything off the table. And as Dan Hoffman highlighted, we don't want to give up any tools that are going to be necessary for us as we continue to move through this whole process. So
yeah, I guess the deal, General, Iran has a vote in this, and I'm just looking at this quote in the Wall Street Journal from last evening. Foreign Ministry says Iran has reached a final conclusion. Iran has not reached a final conclusion about the agreement. We will announce it when we reach a conclusion. That, to me, sounds like these negotiations are still pretty hot.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I think what we're really talking about here is a framework for actually negotiations to take place. And I think it's important, I think, for American citizens to appreciate that this is what we're trying to do is we're trying to shift from kind of active war, coercive military operations to more coercive diplomacy, where we actually can begin to address some of the underlying issues here. Ending the war, resolving the situation in the Straits of Hormuz, and then ultimately addressing the nuclear issues. And that's what this agreement is designed to do, is to set up the framework so that we can move forward on those issues.
Last point here. As former head of CENTCOM, would you have hit them again last night, or would you have taken your foot off the gas?
We would have followed the orders of the President of the United States, of course. But, I think the military, I think CENTCOM's done a fantastic job of keeping the pressure on them and maintaining a high level of readiness so they can do that when the President orders. So I think it's important to keep that in our quiver as we move forward.
All right, General Joseph Votel, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Good to be with you.
Thank you.